How you guys doing? Eric here. Today is Saturday, December 2nd, 2017. A little bit chillier day up here today than we've been having lately in our mild fall we've been having. Today's a little bit chillier and a little breeze blowing, and I guess we're expecting a snowstorm to move in tomorrow, and Monday we get a little bit of snow. Start to look a little bit more like December around here. So anyways, yeah, pretty nice weather we've been having. But anyways, yeah, I was watching a video this morning, and it's about Agenda 21, where people in California are being, burned out of their homes, forced off their property, and it's really sad what's going on, man. This was like a video from a few years back or a couple of years back, but it's just getting worse now. But yeah, these people, it's the same kind of shit that's been going on, man. I've been noticing, like, ever since like 2010 with all these forest fires. There was a fire somewhere around like Santa Cruz, California, and a bunch of homes got burned out, man. It was the same kind of shit that I've been noticing, man, where the fire jumped from house to house. It burned down every fucking house in the area, right? Just like always. And trees are standing, a house here and there were still standing, but just about every house is burnt to the fucking ground, man. And no path of fire, just it magically hopped from fucking house to house, like, so I've noticed the same thing here in like 2 fires back in, around 2010, 2011, the same shit, man. Every fucking house in the area was burnt to the ground. Nothing left of it. And then, trees are still standing. It just didn't make any sense. Just like the recent fires in California, same fucking thing. People have pointed it out, man, that they're showing laser beams flying out of the sky, So, yeah, they're burning people out is what I'm getting at. And it's being done on purpose, man. And so, yeah, they were showing this guy. He was coming back to his home, wanting to rebuild his home that was burnt to the ground. And, of course, he was getting nothing but fucking stonewalled. 6 months later, after the fire was over, they still weren't letting him rebuild his house, or use his fire insurance, to rebuild. They had the whole place, every house in it was red flag, saying that, and this is what's going on all over the country now, where they're not allowing people to rebuild in these areas because they're coming up with some new ordinances calling it an extreme fire zone or some shit. And so, yeah, you can't rebuild your house. It's fucking sad, man. So basically what it's getting at is forcing people out of the freaking countryside. It's been going on, and I've been talking about it for quite a while, where all these man-made hurricanes, fires, fucking tornadoes, fucking all manner of natural disasters, earthquakes. There'll be an earthquake and it'll destroy some homes. They'll say, oh, you can't rebuild because it's an extreme earthquake zone. some shit, And not only that, but also they keep passing all these codes, to basically criminalize any sort of human activity. You can't work on your car on your property. You can't have a shed on your property. You can't fucking wash your car on your property. You can't fucking have a dog. You can't fucking it's just insane. They got these nasty ass fucking code enforcers that come around and just harass people, man. They're showing these people that lived on this property for years, for generations, and these fucking shitty ass code enforcers constantly coming and fucking harassing them, saying, oh, you got to get rid of that, you got to get rid of this, you got to clean that up, you have no right to use water, you have no right to, you can't burn nothing on your property. It's just, it goes on and on and on, and they keep passing more and more and more fucking regulations and shit. So you can't do anything on your property, so you might as well just fucking pack up and leave. And so, yeah, that's what's going on all over the country, man. It's agenda. They're just forcing people out of the rural areas. And, you know, it's going to happen here. It's not so bad here right now, but we're not too far from the cities here. So, you know, it'll probably take a while before that shit comes to this area. But, you know, it's already started here. I mean, there's a lot of shit we're not allowed to do on our property. But, you know, I think it's a matter of time before they do the same thing here. Burn down everybody's house and call it a natural disaster and say, this is an extreme fire zone, you can't rebuild. So, yeah, I'm afraid that's what's going to happen. And not only that, but, you know, the fucking cost of living just keeps going up and up and up. The cost of buying a house, the cost of rent, you know, you can't fucking rent a house. You can't, it's almost impossible to fucking find a place to rent here in Colorado now. You know, if you end up losing your home here, end up on the street somehow, it's almost impossible to get out of it nowadays, man. It's fucking, you're gonna end up homeless, and then God only knows what's gonna happen to you from there. What's happening to homeless people all over the country these days. And, you know, my uncle lost his house down in Denver, and, you know, he's been struggling ever since, man. He's you know, staying with relatives and shit. It's almost impossible for him to find a place to live. They won't rent to him, and they're not building new places to rent anywhere. So the price of rent just keeps going up, and, you know, poor fucking people. And they're just making it war on the homeless here in Colorado. It's really, really bad. Not only is it hard to be homeless here because it's cold as fuck a lot of the year, but, you know, they put out all these anti-camping laws. Where, you know, down in Denver, you're not even allowed to fucking sit down on the ground. You know, you can get arrested for just sitting down. They call it urban camping. You know, it's insane. There was this one guy I saw, he got a ticket for urban camping. He's like, this guy was like interviewing. He's like, you were camping? He's like, yeah, man. I was standing here trying to find a job. I was sitting here, you know, waiting for someone to pick me up for a job, you know, like day laborers, whatever. And he said, this cop came up to him and gave him a ticket for urban camping. Because he was standing out on the corner, he was sitting out in the corner, you know, like with a sign saying, looking for work or whatever. And so the guy asked him, you were camping, huh? Did you have a fire? Like, no. He's like, were you fishing? But no. He's like, well, you were camping. Did you have a tent pitched? No. But you still got a ticket for urban camping. But yeah, that's what goes on in Denver now, man. It's a total fucking war on the homeless. And then I've heard about it going on in other cities like Salt Lake City, Utah. Supposedly they were doing a lot of help to the homeless. They were giving them a place to live and shit and getting people off the streets. But it turns out that was all a big fucking lie, as usual, man. And what's going on there, a lot of people are reporting on this, is that they're rounding the homeless up and they're just disappearing. You know, that's what's going on, man. So, yeah, you fuck around, you know, they get you out of your home one way or another. It's impossible to find another place to live because there's no place to rent here in Colorado. And there's waiting lists to find a place to rent. You know, and like the rents are just keep going up. Like for a studio apartment in Denver now, the average is $1,500, and it just keeps going up. Like a shitty one bedroom apartment in Denver now will cost you $2,000. So, you know, and now even if you could find a place, most people couldn't afford the rent. So, man, it's just a hopeless situation going on between forcing people out of their homes, but making it impossible to find a place to live, and making it, you know, the rent's so high that you can't fucking afford it. So between those three things, and then the homeless are just disappearing. So, yeah, it's a bad situation going on in this country, man. And, you know, there might be places in the country that are affordable to rent, right? But people have left because there's no fucking economy there, you know? So that's another problem. Where there is affordable housing, there's no work, there's no jobs, there's no way to make money. So, yeah, it's just a really, really sad, sick situation. It's being purposely created to fucking just destroy the population, man. Agenda 21, it's going on full blast, man. It's all about getting people out of the rural areas and into the cities. And then it's just survival of the fittest, man. And anybody else will be rounded up and killed off. And just blunt straight out what's going on. So anyways, I thought that was kind of an interesting thing that I saw this morning. I thought it'd be something interesting to talk about today, since I see it going on all over around me. And it's just a matter of time before it affects every last one of us. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you guys soon. Oh yeah, another nice little fact about lovely Denver, Colorado. It's a felony if you get caught sleeping in your car. Isn't that fucked? Isn't that just totally fucked?